Polls close in presidential elections in Panama on Sunday, and ballot counting has begun. 8 candidates are in the race, but the spotlight is on Joe's R Mulino, who is leading in the polls. The former security minister, Mulino, has built a commanding early lead in the presidential elections, with almost half the votes counted. With more than 45% of the ballots listed, Mulino is pulling ahead with 34% of the tallied votes. And second place is secured by Ricardo Lomana, getting 25%. The voting comes just after the Supreme Court announced that the frontrunner, who was on the risk of disqualification, is eligible to run. The court's rejection of the constitutional challenge to Mulino's candidacy has removed the element of uncertainty in the Central American nation's unpredictable race.
According to the forecasts, Mulino is expected to be the Republic's president. On the other hand, the other candidates want nothing to do with Mulino. It seems that Mulino will be the one to take the reins of the country. The others have been in power for 42 years, and look at the country's conditions.
Panama's electoral rules do not require a runoff, so the result of the polls will be final. Let's take a look at the 5 frontrunners present on the ballot. The frontrunner, Jose R Mulino, has 30% voter intention in the opinion polls. He replaced country's former president, Ricardo Martinelli, in March, who was sentenced 11 years to prison for corruption and money laundering. Panama's former leader is now backing Mulino via social media from the Nicaraguan embassy, where he has taken asylum since early February. Surveys show that the 64-year-old has inherited his former running mate's popularity, with the court removing hurdles to his candidacy. The 64-year-old is vying for victory. He has served as deputy foreign minister in the 1990s, as well as the interior and security minister during Martinelli's administration between 2009 and 2014. The 59-year-old lawyer Rulo Ru is running for the office for the second time. Most opinion polls have ranked him as the runner-up. He was the partner at law firm Morgan & Morgan and represented the Canadian miner First Quantum Minerals in the country. Ru once headed the authority that governed the Panama Canal. He made tourism and logistics his priorities while pledging to create 500,000 jobs. Martin Toros is the son of former Panama President Toros, who persuaded U.S. to cede control of the Panama Canal in the 1970s. Toros has made the waterway the centerpiece of his administration during his own first presidential term from the year 2004 to 2009. He held a referendum to decide on its expansion. He also sealed Panama's first free trade agreement with the U.S. His son now aims to broaden the canal's operations by making it the country's first resources manager, and also plans to spend $19 billion on 40 infrastructure projects, as well as creating 165,000 direct jobs. 50-year-old lawyer Ricardo Lomana is running for the president the second time. He is prioritizing modernization of Panama's institutions and fostering sustainable economic growth. He served as the Consul General of Panama's embassy in the U.S. His campaign, however, is receiving backlash for opposing the same-sex marriage. The 40-year-old current Vice President of Panama, Jose Gabriel Kizo, intends to keep his ruling Democratic Revolution Party in power. But what's interesting to note is that the Panamanian Party has held power for consecutive terms since the 1980s. His administration is promising increase to minimum wage and building a dry canal that will link the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific. Kizo's administration struggled to handle the COVID-19 pandemic and inflation.